It's 2017, and I've just watched the final episode of Samurai Jack, and there is a surreal quality to that statement. For so long, an intrinsic part of this series has been that it is unfinished, that somewhere out there Jack was still wandering Aku's future, still fighting and still searching for his way back home. An aspect of the show that's been romanticised by myself and many others. And yet now, in the place of that silence that spoke so much, we have Season 5, and with it, a definitive end to Jack's journey. Something that for many years seemed like it was never going to happen. And considering my fondness for the series, I felt it was only right to briefly voice my thoughts on its conclusion. A season that we've been waiting 13 long years for, which means 13 years of nostalgia-fueled expectation and build-up. Something I imagine weighed heavily on creator Genndy Tartakovsky and his team these last few months. The only question now left being, how successful were they in bringing Jack's story to a close? Well friends, it's time to talk about just that. Let's discuss the evolution and end of Samurai Jack. Where I think the newest season of Jack is at its most interesting is when it's acknowledging the passage of time, and this is something you distinctly see both in the story and in the show's production. 13 years is a long time in the animation industry. The kinds of stories animators tell and the ways in which they are told has changed a lot. Shows like Adventure Time and Steven Universe have brought about an age where Western animation can now be both highly episodic and still tell an overarching narrative. Something expertly worked into the new season of Samurai Jack. Gone are the singular, self-contained stories of old, and in their place are 10 interlinked episodes, each one picking up where the previous one ended. And yet, each new chapter in Jack's story retains a very distinctive look and tone that's all its own, and a huge part of that comes down to Season 5's stellar production. It's been 16 years since Jack first aired, and in that time, the animation industry has witnessed the dawn of digital, with pencil and paper being left behind in favour of more cost-effective and flexible working techniques, something that Jack's team in this new season have very much adapted. And what's impressive is how well the old look and feel are retained, while still taking advantage of the new technology. A lot of the more modern aspects, such as the use of 3D, are restrained, and none of it ever overshadows the distinctly 2D aesthetic of the original. There's a distinct focus on lighting in this series, which is greatly helped by the advancements in visual compositing, which means that the show can play around with far more advanced depictions of light, which I think really beautifully adds to the show's atmosphere, with the more naturalistic light rays contrasting nicely with the two-dimensional look of the characters. It's also worth mentioning that we can now view the beautiful world of Samurai Jack in glorious 1080p high resolution, and this is a show that really benefits from it, with the highly silhouetted characters now being given a crisp sharpness that really accentuates their stylistic designs. However, I think the real advancement in the visuals of Season 5 is less so in the technology behind it, and more so in the skill that's gone into it. In the years between Season 4 and 5, it really feels like Genndy and his team have advanced a massive amount as artists, and it's apparent in practically every shot of the new series. To put it simply, Season 5 of Samurai Jack is eye-searingly gorgeous. A strong point of the show has always been its visuals, but this new series takes it to an entirely new level. The way Tartakovsky frames his shots in this new season is consistently surprising and creative. The animation has a simple yet highly expressive quality to it, and the colour direction in particular is astounding. The show has a way of painting its characters in abstract hues that both perfectly sit within the environment and yet still keep the characters bold and readable, all the while selling the distinct visual tone of each scene, particular highlights being episode 4 when Jack is trapped in the neon-soaked insides of a giant beast, as well as the soothing mellow tones of the meditation scene from episode 7. These scenes and many more are emblematic of how the show managed to evolve its look, while still retaining what made the original so special. And I think this is when Season 5 is at its best, paying homage to what's come before but also acknowledging the passing of time and evolving with it. And perhaps the most interesting example of this within the show is the actual character writing behind Jack himself. The format of seasons 1 to 4 meant that Jack could never really develop all that much. The series found interesting ways to flesh him out as a character, but the self-contained nature of each episode meant that he needed to end each 22-minute story just as he had began, meaning that the effect Jack's journey took on him could only be shown in very limited ways. But now, those constraints are gone, and the Jack we meet in Season 5 is one who has been battling his way through Aku's landscape for 50 long years. And what I love about this is how that period of time has been written into the character. His inability to ever bring Aku's reign to an end has taken its toll on him. While he's still willing to fight, the years of endless battle as well as the loss of his treasured sword have left the samurai broken and without hope. The effects of time travel have caused Jack to cease aging, meaning he's condemned to wander Aku's shattered future seemingly forever. But he's also become haunted by the family he was never able to save, as well as the countless lives that has been lost to Aku. And I think writing Jack like this is a brilliantly metatextual way of acknowledging the narrative stasis he's been left in for so many years, while also perfectly evolving him to tell a more mature story. And Season 5 is definitely more mature on several levels. The show was written with an M rating in mind, which allowed it to explore the darker aspects of Jack's story. And I think the scene that best exemplifies this is in the second episode when Jack is hunted by the Daughters of Aku, a group of human assassins trained since birth by an Aku-worshipping cult with the sole purpose of killing Jack. It's a beautifully done episode, showing Jack hounded and battered by his pursuers as Jack desperately battles to stay alive, and as he does, we see Jack's armor and weaponry crumble away, and with that, the mythos behind him. While we've seen Jack defeated in the past, we've never seen him afraid, never seen him this hopeless. This is Jack's lowest points, and just when it seems like nothing more can be taken away from him, he loses the one thing he still has left, as in his desperation he kills one of his assailants, the first time he's ever taken the life of a human. Violence in Samurai Jack has always been a part of its identity, but it's always been cleverly disguised behind the physical makeup of Jack's enemies, the vast majority of which are robotic, meaning he could violently dismember them without it actually being, well, violence. He did occasionally fight humans, but their fates were often left pretty ambiguous, and this aspect of the show always had a kind of hokey charm to it, and something a lot of people voiced concern about when Season 5 was given the M rating, as excessive violence wouldn't have been in keeping with the original tone. But I think in acknowledging that Jack has never killed before and making it a core part of his development is yet another way the show pays homage to the series' initial run, while still evolving it for a more adult audience. And it's this same ethos that leads to the majority of Season 5's episodes being so enjoyable. There's a real sense that everything that was great about the original series is still there, while being brought forward and advanced to suit a modern context and stays faithful to the original, leading to arguably some of the best episodes of the entire show. Even the new additions feel welcome, such as the secondary main character, Ashi, voiced brilliantly by Tara Strong in what has to be one of her best performances. The comedic moments between her and Jack are solid gold, as she constantly spews a stream of bile and venom at the nonplus samurai. And even if the direction her relationship with Jack takes is a little trite, I really enjoyed her character. And she's yet another reason why so much of Season 5 works so well. However, there is a reason I say so much of and not all. Not long after the last episode of Season 5 aired, the immediate online reaction showed a lot of disappointments in the show's final moments, the popular opinion being that the last episode felt rushed and should have been longer and more fleshed out. And unfortunately, I'm inclined to agree. And to explain why, we're going to have to delve into some spoilers, so let this serve as your warning. While a longer final episode would have been nice, for me, the biggest disappointment of the series was how I felt it handled Aku. While the season went to great lengths to flesh out Jack's character and evolve him in a way that made sense in a modern context, it only does the same with Aku in the most fleeting and farcical of terms. meaning we have a far more tangible, fully realised Jack facing off against the same cartoon villain from the first 4 seasons. Some of this is no doubt due to the passing of Aku's iconic original voice actor, Mako Iwamatsu, and for what it's worth, I think his replacement does as good a job as he could have, but I think in trying to keep Aku as he has always been, the chance is lost to evolve him in a meaningful way, which means that his long-awaited final encounter with Jack feels a little dated and predictable in a way the rest of Season 5 simply doesn't. And that's not to say that there aren't fun moments and that I didn't appreciate the bittersweet note the series ended on, but I think it's hard to view this episode as a longtime fan and not be left feeling a little hollow. But I also felt that, in a way, the end of Jack was doomed to disappoint. We've had 13 long years to build our expectations for this conclusion. 13 years of fan theory, of speculation and anticipation. And it's hard to imagine any single ending that could truly satisfy all of that. The fact that Jack never ended was for a long time part of Samurai Jack. It lent the series a tragic air, but also gave the show not a single committed ending, but hundreds of potential ones. And even if the last episode was longer, and even if Aku had been developed differently, I don't think any single conclusion could fill the chasm that 13 years of expectation and nostalgia create. No matter how well the final battle between Jack and Aku played out, I know I'd still be disappointed we never saw the Guardian again, still curious as to the fate of the bounty hunter princess, and still have questions about the life of X9. These questions and so many more are left tantalizingly open by an incomplete story, and it's that narrative potential that was always going to be lost with its conclusion. It's when you take this factor into account that I think it's easy to see what an uphill battle Genndy and his team had from the start here. And I can't help but feel that even if the final moments of Jack's story fail to live up to what preceded them, I don't think that should mar what a fantastic job the team behind Season 5 did, not only in bringing Jack back, but evolving it both in look and in story in a way that lets it stand alongside the original series. Samurai Jack has always been about the journey, and I don't see why that should change now. And at the end of it all, I'm glad this story finally has its conclusion. Happy we got to see the end of Samurai Jack. Friends, thank you once again for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video and would like to help support me in my quest to create more like it, then consider heading over to patreon.com/supereyepatchwolf, where you can join the Super Eyepatch Wolf Pack and be in the company of such fine folk as Kelmo Hazard, OP Espresso, Sonny Parks, Kenneth McCurdy, and Hudson Pauly. Or come hang out with me on the Let's Fight a Boss video game podcast. I am also on Twitter at Eyepatchwolf. Friends, as always, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.